Hi, everyone. My name is Lindsey Forbes, and I am the Student Retention Manager here at Cochise College. Uh, this project is going to specifically focus on improving academic advising practices at the Sierra Vista campus, as well as working on advisor role clarity and advisor morale. And I am going to try to get through this presentation without coughing all over. I have viral pneumonia, is what they think, though they're kind of waiting around to see if it is or will become bacterial. So it's been a really fun week. All right, so Cochise College's mission is to provide accessible education opportunities that lead to student success and community development. Our advising practices should directly support this mission by guiding students clearly and confidently through their academic paths. That's what should be. Unfortunately, our reality does not match what should be. Right now, advisors are operating under a walk-in, and it's a very transactional model of seeing students. So there's not a lot of connections being made, not a lot of personal um, discussions happening, and deeper conversations are not being had because there really is there's no encouragement to do so with this current model. Advisors report low morale, unclear roles. There really and truly is no communication from leadership unless there's a perceived mistake or something wrong. You can't see my air quotes, but wrong going on. And there's minimal cross campus connection. So the advisors really don't know what's happening in other departments or any kind of changes unless the departments tell them directly. Um, and so there's just not a lot of information being shared or collaboration happening. There's a gap between what we say that we value and then what the students and staff actually experience. We have a very inconsistent student experience happening right now. So, this project aims to increase advisor clarity, consistency, and confidence through the implementation of the program of study advising model. The ultimate goal is to improve the student experience, support college wide retention, and create a more sustainable, clear, and satisfying role for our advisors. And this text heavy slide um, is the performance analysis. Uh, just to kind of sum it up, the advising at Cochise operates on a walk-in basis. Documentation is inconsistent because of some technology barriers, but then also because we don't have the advising models set up to encourage them to look at each student as a case, as having a advisors having a caseload. So they do not have consistent notes being taken in my degree plan. They don't when they do take notes, they're really not sure what to put down and what is priority for that. And overall, we have low morale. Advisors often work reactively instead of proactively. This also is how our leadership reacts as well. And so that's all we have to go off of. The desired shift again to embrace more of a caseload based model that fosters ongoing relationships with students, uses tools like Advisor Track and my degree plan more effectively, and then equips advisors to feel confident in their roles. So this is based off of the KSA. It has the desired knowledge, excuse me, skills, and attitudes that we want to change or at least update. Some of the recommended interventions. This is how I intend or how I'd like to create the change. To close the gap, I'm going to implement both instructional and non-instructional strategies because that's just what's got to happen. There's going to be, excuse me, targeted training on the program of study model. Right now, the advisors are a little iffy about that because it's new and it would completely change how they view the job, how they do the job, and expectations within their positions. And so they don't really understand what it all means. So I would like to bring them in and hear their feedback and also have them take a little bit of ownership in building what a program of study model would look like at Cochise. There's going to be scenario based practices using real degree maps, using the caseload study. The caseload model. So, yeah, scenarios and how they would um, actually be walking through each of these things. We're going to do training in appreciative advising techniques, questions, and how to relate to the students, and then also have a career focus in there because they're not quite sure how to backwards plan from what the student might want as a career and then what that means for them now. They just don't know the questions to ask or the pathway to take for that. Excuse me. There's going to be a use of job aids and resources, updated advisor track and my degree plan documentation. We're going to have feedback and peer reflection. If possible, in the non-instructional, leadership communication realignment, but that would mean that we would need our leadership to be, willing to be realigned. Recognition and morale boosting strategies would go a really long way. So the delivery messages, oh my gosh, the delivery methods there's going to be at least 4. The training will be delivered through a mix of synchronous and asynchronous strategies. In-person retreat is the very first thing that I think that we need to do, and I call it a retreat because that's all I know when a training is longer than, say, like 4 hours. If it takes 2 days, I'm okay with that. But I think this is going to be, excuse me, the major launch for the entire rest of the project. The retreat is going to focus on team building, collaboration, setting the vision, maybe rewriting what advising, like, who advise, or oh my gosh, we say we are and what we say we do at the Sierra Vista advising department, because right now that's unclear. And so how can we give the advisors ownership over their position and the department, because they are the heart of it, and so keeping them out of this part would be unwise. There's also going to be self-paced. So after we get through the retreat, we have everything built, the vision is set. We're going to move forward on having some self-paced, gamified Moodle modules that they can do in their own time. It's going to be micro learning, but this is to kind of help them stay on track with the new program of study model and ways of doing things, but then also integrating more information, more training on managing their student caseloads, having career and transfer conversations, and some appreciative advising, uh, tenants or whatever, so that is constantly in them, and then they're also getting feedback. Same thing with the weekly check-ins. I would love to just start actually meeting as a group and passing information. So during those team meetings, we can do some training check-ins, have discussions, what's going well, what's not, and then we can have a chance to reinforce what's going on, reflect on what's going on, and pivot if need be. Um, Resources are going to be provided, job aids and interactive tools to support daily advising work. So, adding to their toolbox of things that they have right in front of them, I think would be um, morale boosting, but then also really helpful. Okay, before training, advisors will complete a baseline survey on morale and excuse me, and confidence, and then participate in a short intro video on the program of study model to be determined, not sure yet. But the post training, there's going to be some post training. They'll complete a self assessment and engage in peer feedback circles. So when we meet together, we'll talk about that. Um, these activities are going to measure growth and then reinforce the learning as we're moving through this, because this whole thing is going to take about a year. The pre and post training touch points are essential for reflection, accountability, and evaluating training effectiveness. So we want to consistently be evaluating. So people resist what they don't understand, and that is completely true. Communication builds trust and momentum. Change will be communicated clearly and consistently through biweekly advisor meetings, a shared advising resource hub, monthly updates from leadership, hopefully, and the goal is transparency and inclusion throughout the process. So we'll know that we are getting through this and doing well through these milestones. Instructional materials are completed. There's pilot training launched and has been refined. Full implementation of the program study model will begin. And then we're going to do mid-semester check-ins and then also an end-of-term review and ROI analysis. So we're going to measure success using the advisor confidence growth, excuse me, which is going to come from the surveys that were done during the pre-training. We're going to do student satisfaction scores, so launching a little survey thing in advising and encouraging students to take satisfaction surveys is going to be very telling. Term over term retention. Let's see how our retention numbers fare throughout the time. Documentation accuracy. So we'll look at the different notes that are being taken, different expectations from the advisor's case, load notes, and other documentation that we have up there, and then compare it. Feedback from leadership would be very helpful, and then just trying to get as much data as possible. So I'm going to use Kirkpatrick's model for evaluation. We're going to start with the reaction, were the advisors engaged and did they find what we've trained in and how we did that useful? And again, that will come out in, are they doing it? And are they doing it well? Did the advisors gain knowledge and skills? Again, we're gonna know that through the different measurement of success and evaluating. Behavior, are they using what they learned in their day-to-day work? And that's observable, and then we can also, that a lot of that will come out during their our weekly meetings. Oh my goodness. The results, are students benefiting, and are the retention and morale improving? This is a major question to ask and to make sure that we get the data for, because without our advisors' ownership and feedback and their boosted morale, all of this falls apart. So the project will roll out over academic year, and I'm running out of time. So there's the proposed dates that might fluctuate in and out just a little bit, because Who the heck knows? But it would be my intention to completely launch everything and have the evaluations back by fall of 2026, that beginning semester. All right, thank you so much for your time and attention. This project is definitely more than just about a new advising model. It's about completely changing the morale and the culture up in advising. We want to better support students and empower them to support themselves as well. And I think this can be done through this design project. All right, thank you for being patient with me.